You ever work somewhere and you work so hard and you feel unappreciated and feel like you're going to work yourself to death? Well, in this anime, this character does just that. Works somewhere, a terrible boss, and he literally works himself to death. While you're here, don't forget to like and subscribe. So what anime is this? I'll let you know in a moment. But first, let's start this off the right way. Welcome, heroes and demon lords. Welcome to my realm. I'm Lord Zill. I'm here to give you all the anime recommendations to keep your adventure going. So, what anime where does the person work themselves to literal death? Well, that anime is called By the Grace of Gods. What? That doesn't sound like he's got very much of God's grace on him if he worked himself to death. The grace came afterwards. So, we follow the character, Ryoma, as an adult. He's 30 years old, miserable life. Works all the time. Doesn't do anything but work. You see his mother a little bit in the beginning, and you find out she was the only person in his life. She passes away. Just really sad existence. Well, the gods saw this sad existence. And when he died, they allowed him to be reincarnated in another world as an 8-year-old boy. Well, they decided they wanted, because of how sad his existence was and how generally nice of a person he just was miserable, they wanted to give him another chance. Give him a chance of happiness, and, they wanted him to, start over. So that's what he did. He gets there. He's 8 years old. They help him build a backstory for his character. It's hilarious to hear him, how his mind works, because you see this 8-year-old, 9-year-old, 10-year-old. He grow, as he ages, child, but he's thinking like a 30-year-old businessman, and it's interesting his perspective on how things should run versus how this world actually does things, just because of, where he comes from, what he's been through, where they're at, and, the normal there, right? So you find him after, 3 years of living on his own as, 8-year-old, he, ages, and he's by himself. He finds this adventuring party, rescues them, helps them out. Dude's like obsessed with learning about slimes. If you know anything about adventure, animes, games, slimes are pretty useless, weak creatures. Sorry, Rimuru. But normally they're useless and weak. But he finds different ways to use them, how they can evolve differently. And for that, he's able to use them to help people. Well, then he finally goes into a town where he meets people. You follow him on this adventure where he meets new characters in town, uses slime to start a business, a laundry service, of all things. He starts a laundry business that these people have never seen, this kind of work before. They've never seen, grime from goblins and all these other, messes get out of clothes so well. So he ends up doing very well, but you see his internal struggle where he doesn't want to be the kind of boss he had. So, you hear that saying, swing the pendulum the wrong way. I think I said that right. Pendulum. Yeah. So he didn't want to be the same kind of boss he had, so he swings the pendulum. I'm not going to say that word anymore because I'm pretty sure I keep messing it up. But he swings it way too far one way. So he has a little bit of learning to do on that instance. But you watch him and he's sitting there, and he's trying to make sure the other characters, his employees, get to work properly and they enjoy their jobs. And then he has them working. He doesn't expect a rush because he just starts this business. Turns out a lot of people show up. And he wasn't there for his employees, And he's like, oh no, I'm terrible. They overworked and didn't get a break. I'm a monster. He feels bad. He's going through all this trauma in his own head because he feels like he's that boss he had before. And it's hilarious because they're like, this is common. This is how it normally is. And then, he constantly is doing things that other businesses aren't doing. So his employees are happy. They love being around him. But not only is he running a business, but he's like, well, I also need to get my adventuring up because that's why I'm here. So he's finally living his life to its fullest. And people are watching him and they're trying to figure out, like, why he seems so much older than he is, right? And no one knows that he's a 30-year-old man. And at this point, he's like 11 years old. So he's like a 30-year-old man in an 11-year-old body doing things that other grown-ups aren't doing. And it's one of those animes where it's a joy to watch. There's not a lot of fighting. You're not watching this one for the action scenes. There's not the whole how do I put this? Not a lot of it's not the fan service anime. Some of you people, y'all know what I'm talking about. It's not one of those animes. This is one of those really good, wholesome, feel-good animes you can watch with your kids. This anime is really, it's well done in a sense where you don't feel like they're giving you filler that makes no sense, that has no purpose. It's just a fun time. You really get to learn about, how the business side of things work. He's really looking at everything as a business standpoint. How can I not only grow my business, but also make sure my employees are happy? And so I think this anime is really good at allowing your kids to get in there and watch it with you. It'll help build them into watching anime because it's still fun. It still has an adventure. It still has the excitement from anime. But it has the wholesomeness of other animes that can sometimes be a little boring. But it has like some life lessons. It can help with, work ethic. Watching this, you see this kid really going after things and aspiring to be great, but he's humble. He's got all this power, but he's really humble about it, and it makes you want to be better. So this anime, while it's not full of action like a lot of the other animes I like to watch, it is full of inspiration. It's full of lessons, and you see, the main character gets all these compliments for everything, but he doesn't let that go to his head. He's just like, oh, thank you. I feel like y'all are thanking me, but it's like, y'all helped me. Y'all are the ones that did this. So it teaches about, accepting that you do something and that, it was you that did it, but also remembering the people that helped you get there and not letting it go to your head. So this one was really enjoyable to watch. And the graphics were really well done. The storyline was great. I love the interaction with the gods he has in there. He gets to go and, when he goes and prays, he gets to meet with them, talks with them. They have their own personalities, and it's fun to watch them interact with him and each other. There's 2 seasons. Yeah, 2 seasons of it out right now. I'm hoping season 3 gets released soon. Hopefully this year they make a season 3. They haven't really announced when they're going to do it, but I'm hoping they do it now. But the characters they're all really fun characters. The first family he meets, they have a daughter that's his reincarnated age, so she's like around 8 or 9. I think at the time they meet, she's like 10, so she's a little bit younger than him. But she's like, they're nobles. Their family, the dad's a duke, so they're the right below the royal family kind of deal. So they're pretty high up there in the noble family, but they're very humble, very gracious people, and they help him out. They're wanting to look out for the people, and it makes them seem very friendly and kind. So when they're interacting with him and he's interacting with other people in the anime, it kind of bridges the common people and the nobles. It kind of puts them together, and then it keeps it from being like a lot of animes. You have the snobby nobles and the low commoners, and the nobles are always trying to get one over on the commoners, and the commoners hate the nobles. But this one, it doesn't really give you that vibe. They kind of like blend them together nicely. You got the nobles that are taking care of the commoners that are working really hard and helping the nobles, and so they work well together, which you don't see a lot in anime because they really use that commoners versus nobles thing to really put the action and the adventure in there. So I did like this perspective on the dynamics of the society. I enjoy animes where it's not all about going out there and just becoming overpowered by fighting everything. It was really nice to just watch common everyday interactions, right? Like him just going to work, him going to a new town to start up a business, meeting new people. At one point, you don't even follow him; you're following the Duke's daughter, where she goes to the new school for the nobles and everything. The magic school, I think, is what it is. And she sets up her own little party of 5, where you've got some nobles, some commoners, and they work together on a camping trip, and then they get everyone else started working together, and they build like this group that's really productive and helpful with each other. And it shows a lot of how one person's status isn't as important as their personality. And I like that. It's good for lessons for children to learn, and it's not one of those where you've got to be like, okay, close your eyes, or like I tell my kids, you can't watch this anime, it's super inappropriate. While it may be a good anime, the fan service is very inappropriate for them. But this one right here didn't have any of that. It was well put together. They gave you great story without the unnecessary extras. So if you've got small children and you really want to, get them into anime, or you're just looking for the next anime to watch with them, by the grace of gods, that's your anime. Like, I loved it. I mean, I'd be cooking, because I love cooking. There's actually a cooking anime I'm going to start watching soon, but I love to cook, so I'm in there cooking, put my anime on. I have it like sitting up on the one of my appliances in there so I could watch it while I'm cooking. And by the time I'm done cooking, I've already watched maybe 2 episodes, and it's like it helps me take in the information and get my stuff done, and it's a great time. I don't want to spoil too much, but there are dragons. So if you like animes with dragons, there are some dragons. There's not a lot of interaction with the dragons, but it's fun to always imagine what life would be like with some dragons, because I think that'd be pretty cool. So if you want to watch an anime where the main character is definitely overpowered, but is like humble, super sweet, extremely kind. You would never really think that this gigantic man, because dude was 30 and he was jacked. Dude was a brick. Like, he was huge, and he was like the most gentle thing ever. And then he dies from overwork, which, I mean, that kind of tells you, like, don't spend all your time working. Take some time to enjoy your life. You don't work yourself to death, literally. And now he's reincarnated as an 8-year-old boy who is still overpowered and super strong. Dude, like, kicks a tree down when he first gets to the world just to see how strong he is. I mean, I don't know. Me and a buddy of mine got Reincarnated, I might see if like friendly fire is on, but not to the point where I hurt him. I'm just saying friendly fire, like I do in video games. Like, hey, is there friendly fire? Oh, there is. Sorry, bud. But anyways, he kicks a tree, so he's obviously super strong, obviously overpowered because he can like tame monsters pretty easily, and he's extremely smart. All he wants to do is just enjoy his life, be happy, make other people happy, and learn as much as he can. So it ends the last season with him getting ready to go to the town where his backstory's from. So you learn about how his backstory gets set up, and it's pretty interesting. But in order for him to get there, he has to level up his adventure ranking. So watching him level up his adventure ranking starts getting a little bit more serious, since his business has taken off so well. It's not really needing him as much, so now he's focusing a lot more on his adventure ranking. So I'm hoping season 3 they keep that going and we get to see more of his adventurous side, because in the first 2 seasons it's a lot more on his learning how to tame more monsters and more about magic and getting his business set up. So season 3 comes out, I'm hoping it's more on his adventuring. But all in all, I give this anime a 5 out of 5. A lot of that rank is, or I guess rating for me, is because I love the fact that it's one of those animes where I can sit with my kids and just watch it, and I don't have to worry about, something popping up that shouldn't be they shouldn't be seeing. Because I do have a younger child, and it's, I got, I guess all my kids, my 3 of them that live with me are pretty young, but I have one that's, really young, and this is not, a lot of the animes are something that I'm like, you can't watch this one, buddy. So I did like that this is one that I can watch with my kids. There are more animes out there that you can watch with children, and I would do more reviews on those in the future as well, because I think, that's something we gotta get our, we gotta watch the animes with our kids so that when they get older, we can continue this. But I do enjoy it for that reason, and for the fact that there are a lot of good life lessons in there, and it's hilarious. So that anime is by the grace of gods, and I think you should definitely give it a try. It is hilarious, it's fun, and I mean, there's demi-humans, there's magic. What more can I say? Watch the anime. So, as always, enjoy the journey, stay epic, and I'll see you next time. Oh yeah, and watch one of my other videos. They're around here.